Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. And welcome to Smash Saturday, where we talk about all things Smash related until we get a new Smash game, whether that be Smash Ultimate Deluxe or Smash 6. And today I want to start a new series for Smash Saturday. I've been trying to brainstorm, get ideas so I can always be talking about Smash because I really love the game, but I'm just not sure what to talk about lately. But I have seen a lot of discourse about Steve lately and all of the bull crap he's doing in tournaments, how some tournaments have just become unbearable to watch because top 64s are just flooded with Steves. It makes the matches longer, it makes the tournaments longer, yada yada yada. I think on the Lights Out podcast, they talked about this quite extensively. They even talked about it a little bit on Tweak Talks, so there's been a lot of discourse about Steve. So I'm going to start a new series where I talk about all of the broken characters in Smash, starting with our resident most broken character in the game, Steve. So today I'm going to be talking about everything wrong with Steve in Smash Ultimate. I may have missed one or two things. I'm pretty sure this is fairly, what's the word I'm looking for? Fairly inclusive here. I should be getting pretty much everything here, but I'm guessing there's probably more. So if I miss anything, please let me know in the comment section down below so that we can all be edified together and make sure that this is everything wrong about Steve. We'll be glancing up at my notes here. I have 31 different points. A couple of them kind of meld together, so it's more like high 20s. But there's a lot to talk about today. I think I will be having the longest video with this by far. I think Pyramithra, the other top tiers that I talk about later on, will get a good, decent length video, but this one's going to be big. So strap in, we're going to talk about everything wrong with Steve. First and foremost, we've got walls. This is the first and biggest thing. I'm going to talk about this one in conjunction with another one, which is creating platforms in a platform fighter. This is something that you don't see very often at all. I think in Rivals of Aether, we've got one character that can create platforms, at least one, but you don't see this happen a lot. And in Smash Brothers, this has never happened before. And Steve can create platforms pretty much anywhere. If you go too high, you can't do it. If you go too low, if you go too far off stage, either direction, those are the exceptions. But you can create platforms in the air without connecting them to the ground. You can create them right above the ground to block people from moving. You can create walls to effectively camp your opponent out and create no type of interaction ever. Walls are one of the most broken things that Steve can do. Block itself is very broken, but we're going to be talking about like individual applications of block quite a bit here. Walls are just really cancerous in this game because Light talked about this. I saw a clip from his podcast. I didn't watch the entire thing, but he said when he camps as Fox, when he shoots laser, he's forcing an interaction. If other characters like are camping, if Cloud's charging Limit or Samus is charging Charge Shot, they're forcing an interaction from their opponent. Steve building a wall make sure there's no interaction that's going to be happening. They are mining behind that wall. They are kind of forcing an interaction, but they're also not trying to engage in an interaction. They're trying to prevent one. You can see this very clearly in almost every Steve gameplay in any top level play, because they'll build a wall, and the second someone starts to break through it, they'll build another one right behind it. They are not looking to engage. They're looking to just camp your opponent out. It makes the games excruciatingly long. And one of the next parts that I wanted to talk about as well that kind of melds in with this is that Steve can break his own walls very easily, and the fact that he can cancel out of his mining so quickly and go into an aerial or into his dash attack and break through the walls with relative ease compared to most characters that have a really hard time getting through the walls in the first place makes it pretty much unreactable. You have to be playing it incredibly safe if you want to even attempt to break down his walls, because he might just dash attack you and then rebuild it and then start mining again and get more resources, and now you've taken damage and you're in disadvantage. It's just an endless cycle of hell that people have to get through. And like I said, most characters just can't deal with it. Being able to create platforms is just a really bad thing altogether. Next thing I wanted to talk about is that blocks can also be placed behind Steve. If he builds like a little entrapment behind him, he can tech those walls to prevent kill confirms from happening or to bounce off so he goes sent to the left side instead of the right, making sure he can survive a lot longer, or he can put you in unwinnable situations. If he gets you in a grab or something like that and throws you against a wall, if you tech, he can checkmate you into like an F smash, or if you like miss your tech, you might go off stage and die from a stage spike at like 50-60%. It's ridiculous that he can effectively stop kill confirms by placing one block or a couple blocks behind him. This is such a crazy thing, and I've seen Steve tech things that I feel like shouldn't be techable up to like 200% very recently in this last tournament. I think it was Syrup did it. I watched him get hit against one of his blocks at extremely high percent, and he was still able to tech. I'm not sure if it was just a techable option. Otherwise, like if he was off stage and he was hitting the wall, maybe it would be techable anyway, but I don't know about that. It looks like he's able to tech those a lot longer, and it's something that maybe I would love to hear from you in the comment section down below. If there's any data you have on that, I'll keep doing some research of my own, but it seems like he's able to tech longer on his own blocks, and I'll get back to you if that's true or not. The next thing is going to be refreshing jump and air dodge mid-air. This is something that's absolutely insane with an application of the block. Being able to place blocks in mid-air not only gives Steve like a lot of safety, because now all of a sudden he has a platform underneath him that you have to break in order to get to him or go around, making it very easy for him to like track your movements and everything, but it also refreshes his jump. So if Steve is in disadvantage and he's coming down and he gets low enough, he can place a block, suddenly he has his jump, his air dodge, all of his resources back. And that's a crazy thing. No other character can do anything close to that. Pyra and Mythra are the closest with being able to air dodge multiple times in the air. Very Smash 4-esque, being able to switch between Pyra and Mythra freely, very quickly. But Steve can refresh his jump without landing on the stage itself, because he can create his own platform, like we talked about earlier. It's an insane thing. And being able to reset and mine on top of that block as well is just a crazy thing. Next thing were nil combos. If you're not familiar with nil, the NIL, this is no impact land. This is a thing that Steve can do with his block, where he can essentially start a combo, jump up in the air, place a block under him, and immediately keep the combo going. Again, refreshing his jump, refreshing all of his options, allowing him to do grounded options in the air, since he's creating this platform in mid-air here. He can do crazy nil combos that are either extremely strong, that will put you to like 80-90%, or they'll kill you straight up. It's an insane thing that Steve can do this. Again, this is all because of the block being so broken. Next thing is going to be up tilt, and we'll be talking about up tilt and jab and what you can do with them. Up tilt is extremely broken, especially if you're facing away from the opponent. If you're facing toward them, it's a little less safe, but if you're facing away, the back hit is extremely safe on shield. And he can do it multiple times before it becomes unsafe on shield. And it's insane, because this is also a crazy combo starter. This can lead into his 0 to death combos or lead into the high combos that I talked about earlier. Up tilt is his bread and butter for getting those combos that lead you upward and using those nil combos in order to get high damage and even take stocks. It's insane. Jab is also very strong, especially if you get the higher tools like Diamond. You can jab lock people while walking across the stage. They call it walking the dog, I have heard. They walk them across the stage, go off stage, and forward air them immediately, putting them in a very losable situation for almost every single character in the game. Even characters like Pikachu have a very hard time coming back from this. If you get put into that spike off stage, you're pretty much dead. I've seen this done countless times. And this all leads into the fact that Steve can walk while he does jab and up tilt, something that no other character can do. Steve weirdly can just do a bunch of things that break the rules of the game, not only from block, but that break any other conventional rules, like being able to do tilts while moving, jab while moving, have everything be excruciatingly safe that combos into each other. This is just a ridiculous thing for Steve to have. And again, once you have the better like tools and everything, it's absolutely broken. But even if you have the weaker tools, if you start off with your wood tools, up tilt is almost easier to combo at those 0%, those early percents, than Diamond is. So if you have that at the very beginning of the game, you can probably get a very high damage combo or kill the opponent with your basic tools. You don't have to do any mining to get it. It's just absolutely insane. And the fact that he can move while doing stuff like that is just pretty criminal in my opinion. The next thing is going to be that grab. Grab is just ridiculous. I hate Steve's grab. Not only is it a tether grab, but it's very active. If you look at like Luigi's tether grab, it's not super active. It only has like 1 or 2 frames of two active frames, but Steve's is incredibly active. And not only that, it catches in the air. If you don't know how grabs work, you're grabbing a grounded opponent, sometimes when they're just barely off the ground. But typically you have to be grounded in order to get grabbed. But Steve's breaks this rule, because of course he can. Why wouldn't he break all the rules of Smash? His fishing rod actually goes up. So if you are aerial, or if you're like, let's say on the anvil, for instance, most of your attacks are going to hit the anvil and clank with it, and you're not going to be able to attack him. But if you're standing on his anvil and he grabs, it will still connect with you. This is stupid, especially because Steve can get 0 to deaths off of his grab with relative ease, especially with those nil combos that I talked about. I once watched a Steve do a grab into like a fair spike, into like a jab, into a fair spike, or maybe it was an up tilt, into a nil F smash, and killed the person at 36% or something ridiculous like that. I was just floored. I can't believe that they didn't playtest this character even a little bit. Like it really shows. Stuff like that is just crazy. And he gets combo throw off of his grab, and he also has a kill throw off of his grab. Not only that, his forward throw is also extremely strong. It sends at a very bad angle, like Jigglypuff's does. So it puts you in a very bad situation off stage. And Steve can put blocks off of stage to block recoveries. So if he puts you in a forward throw situation, he's either going to do a crazy ledge trap that we'll talk about in a minute, or he's going to put blocks down above, just below the stage to block your recovery, and you're probably dead. Again, like 90% of the characters die to this. So if he's not comboing you with his down throw, and he's not killing you with his up throw, he's probably forward throwing you off stage. His back throw is fine. It can get you off stage too. It puts you in a better situation. But 3 of his throws are not only extremely useful, but lead to kills almost every single time. Crazy character. Crazy grab that it catches airborne, but also crazy that it does so many things. Next is going to be the tools. Like I said briefly before, all tools are very strong. The wood tools you can combo very early on, and if you get all the way to diamond, it kills at ridiculous percents. F smash at 36% killed a person. Not a particularly light character either. You have other things like your diamond, your gold tools that are extremely fast. The iron tools do a lot more damage and have a lot more like oomph to them. They do a lot more knockback. So all the tools work extremely well. None of them really have any inherent weaknesses other than durability, I guess, but they all do pretty much the same thing, and they last for a very long time too. Tools don't just disappear really quickly. In fact, if you have something like diamond, you're probably not going to run out of it. You might run out of your pickaxe from mining behind a wall for too long, but otherwise you're probably going to be using it very freely. They don't go away nearly fast enough, and it's crazy that all the tools work as well as they do. The wood tools should be garbage. They should be absolute trash. They should not do anything good for you. In fact, why not just kill the frame data too if you have wood tools? I don't know, but it's just crazy that they all work exactly the same way and essentially accomplish the same thing and allow you to get even better tools later on, and then you just kill people earlier. Next thing is going to be mining. Mining is just too fast. Steve can, again, he can build a wall. That's all fine and good. But mining for iron takes such little effort and time. You don't have to be spending much time mining. You get them in disadvantage one time, you mine for a couple seconds, and suddenly you have plenty of iron to do your mine carts and your anvils. It's way too fast, and crafting is way too fast too. The fact that you can use your invincibility to craft a tool is absolutely insane to me. It should take way longer for the reward you get for upgrading your materials as Steve. Next is going to be the minecart. Let's just get this out of the way. We'll talk about anvil too. Minecart is broken. The fact that you can have something so safe and so strong at the same time is crazy. The fact, I'm saying crazy and unbelievable a lot. That's just because it is. Steve is just that crazy. If you're not familiar with competitive play, Steve is absolutely this broken. I'm not even halfway through my list yet. Minecart is pretty insane. The fact that you can, if it's not powered up, if you don't have gold in your inventory, you just have a regular minecart, it goes not super fast, it's reactable, but it has a big hitbox. It protects Steve from a lot of damage. He doesn't get knocked out of it very easily. It's not easy to destroy either. And if he jumps out of it, which most Steves will do, it has its hitbox on the way down, and it will grab you. It becomes a command grab, a moving command grab that is really hard to mash out of. And once you mash out of it, you go into like the grab break type fall, and you are in that lag for a very long time, allowing Steve to run up and do an up smash or something worse like a back air with diamond. So there's a lot of things that minecart can do. If you power it up, suddenly it's unreactable at most ranges. It's extremely strong. It will kill you way too early, and it sets up for other things. Again, like being able to jump out of it and get a command grab that's pretty much unreactable. You're probably dead at that point. If you go off stage and fall too far, you're dead from him being able to place blocks off stage. If you're on stage and he runs up to you, he's going to up smash you or F smash you. He's going to be able to kill you off of this move, hitting you with it or grabbing you with it. And if he misses, He's safe because he can jump out of it. There's no commitment to this. And let's while we're on that, there's no commitment to almost any of Steve's moves. Like I said before, if you're up tilting facing the other way, you can walk backwards at your opponent and up tilt. You are creating a lot of safety because you're not engaging. You're hitting their shield and being completely safe doing it. And you have so much time to do as many as you want, you're probably safe indefinitely. Your back air is extremely safe. All of your aerials are extremely safe, and the better tools have more safety as well. But you have Minecart and Anvil that you can jump off of or out of and create so much safety so that Steve never has to engage. He can throw out all sorts of kill options all day with no risk. The only risk is that he's losing his materials. But we already talked about how easy it is to mine. And that is not even getting into planking, which we will talk about in a little bit. Steve just has incredible safety across the board. He has so many ways to keep himself from engaging directly. He can throw an anvil out from way up high and jump off of it, or he can do some nonsense like charge a smash attack. He can grab on the way down, and since the grab is so active, it might grab you. You might not be ready for it because Anvil comes down. So if you're prepping for him to jump off of Anvil and he comes down with an F smash, you might die to that. Or he might grab you. Or he might up smash you. There's just so many options Steve can do. Most of the time he's going to jump off of it. But if he mixes you up, you might lose your stock for it. And that's just insane to me. We already talked about aerials being too strong and too safe. Blocks off stage are insane. Another thing that Steve can do that no one else can do is freely change direction off stage. While you're in mid-air, typically a character has to do something like a B reverse in order to change his direction mid-air. And Steve just can do whatever he wants, I guess, and freely choose whether he wants to forward air spike you or back air you. Most characters get a lot of money off of ledge guarding, staying on stage and trapping the ledge, and not going off stage and doing, ledge trapping, versus ledge guarding, where you jump off the stage to go and to keep your opponent from going off, from getting back to the stage, Steve can do both very easily. He can ledge guard extremely easily because it's very easy for him to get back to the stage. Between Minecart and his up B, he has extremely crazy options in order to get back to the stage. And again, if he's high enough, he can create platforms right next to the stage. So he can go off and ledge guard you very, very easily. But he can also ledge trap you. Ledge trapping is very strong in Smash Ultimate, and probably the high majority of the cast benefit from ledge trapping instead of ledge guarding. Just staying at the ledge and preventing your character, the opponent's character, from getting back is really huge. Steve can circumvent this in a variety of ways. He can minecart if he's up high enough to throw that at you, and you have to dodge it or block it and roll through it to give him lots of time to get back on stage. He can up be high and maneuver himself really easily. Like shrinks his hurt box, makes him extremely hard to hit. There's almost no landing lag when he lands on the stage, so he just really doesn't have any risk there either. Or if he goes low, he can do his up B, which is criminal that they have this in the game. His normal up B doesn't go super high, and you might say, great, that's a great weakness. If you tap down right after doing the up B, for some reason Steve goes like twice as high. Don't know why. It's clearly a bug. It's not supposed to be something that you should be able to do, but his recovery is broken that way. If you start from really high up, you can do your glide. You can go down and then up and get a lot of distance, like Meta Knight or Charizard from Smash 4. It's insane that he has that. And again, his hurt box shrinks. If he lands on stage, he's pretty much lagless. He can go straight into a smash attack or a jab or an up tilt, or do something absolutely crazy by hitting you with the little hitbox he has on there and comboing out of it into something like up smash. This character can ignore the ledge, but that's not even talking about the biggest thing that he has, which is planking. This character can stand underneath the stage to the point where you can't hit him with pretty much any attack without going off stage first. And he can indefinitely mine on his little block and then create another one underneath him when that one breaks. He can just jump and do another one. And if he gets tired of that, mining infinite resources for free, he can grab ledge. Now, if you're not familiar with how ledge grabs work in Ultimate, the first time you grab a ledge, you have invincibility for a certain amount of frames. And that is dependent on how high the percentage is. The higher the percentage, the less invincibility you have. If you re-grab the ledge before landing on stage, you do not have any invincibility, and anyone can hit you freely on that ledge the second you snap to it, or even before that. Steve, since he is placing a platform underneath him, can infinitely get invincibility. He can create a platform under him, jump up, grab the ledge, have invincibility, drop down, create that platform again, mine for a while, jump up, grab the ledge, and be invincible once more. Because the game thinks he has touched the stage again, because he's created more stage. This is extremely broken. If we're not going to have a Steve ban, it's insane we haven't banned anything more than PMLG, which is a crazy tech where if I don't even know the specifics of it. This is another broken thing that Steve has, but it is banned in tournaments, so it's not that big of a deal, where he can cancel his hit lag, essentially stopping him from taking any knockback from an attack, which obviously breaks the game in way more ways than intended. The other things we clearly can live with because we haven't banned him exclusively across the world, but PMLG essentially makes it so, haha, you hit me, but I'm actually not taking any knockback for it, which again is just broken. That's a crazy oversight. That's an insane thing by its own. But planking off stage, we don't have a rule for that. A Steve could essentially get a lead, a stock lead, and just plank underneath the stage forever. And if you go off stage like you watch some of the pros do, if they miss hitting Steve, or if he techs the wall and you're underneath him, he can either footstool you or he can just build some blocks and you're going to die to it. You're going to get reversaled 99% of the time. He will kill you off of trying to engage with him off stage every single time for planking. It's absolutely broken. I think planking alone should be completely illegal, that they shouldn't have a ledge grab limit or anything like that. It should just be banned altogether. So yeah, that's Steve. And we're going to keep going because there's still more. I'm not quite done with my list yet. You thought I was done? We're 21 minutes into this list. We're going to keep going. Next thing, you can. All of his smash attacks are too strong. All of them are too good. Up smash scoops way too low. It shouldn't. It's way too huge. I don't know why it is. It's a multi-hit you can't fall out of an SDI out of, which is crazy. You can technically SDI out of his jab, but he can like change up what he's doing. Like I talked about earlier, if he's jab locking you across the stage, you can SDI out of that, but then he's going to change him an up tilt and kill you off the side or up off the top if he does a nil combo. But this one is not SDIable. You can't get out of it because the hitbox is too huge. And that wouldn't normally be a problem. Everything that I just talked about normally wouldn't be a problem. Other characters have really big sweeping up smashes. But the fact that you can do this in the air quite substantially high means that his knockback on the ground isn't insane. It is very strong. Don't get me wrong. He has very strong smash attacks. But imagine if you did that up on like the third platform on Battlefield. It's going to kill ridiculously early. He can just do that anywhere he wants with a nil combo and kill you extremely early for it. And it's going to scoop, it's going to trap you, and you can't get out of it. That up smash is insane. His down smash is also very strong. It hits in front and behind. So if you're on the ledge, he's going to throw it out first in front of you. It has a lot of active frames, so you can't really interact with it outside of like doing a get up attack. But if he's trying to two frame you, you're toast. If you get on ledge and you roll, he's going to hit you from behind. He also has down tilt that he can throw off the stage. His down tilt is a little fire thing that goes off and sits there for a minute and is active for several frames. And if you get stuck on it early enough, it will actually trap you for a little bit before sending just enough knockback that he can perfectly combo into a minecart off stage and kill you ridiculously early. He has every ledge trapping thing in the entire game. Everything about his ledge trapping is superior to any other character in the game. And that's before I even start talking about TNT. You can set up a TNT box. And Steve has a little tricky thing where if he's standing on top of the TNT box and he down smashes the TNT box, normally you'd think that's pretty stupid because it's going to blow himself up too. But he can air dodge out of it immediately and not take any damage while creating a giant hitbox that will likely kill you if you get hit by it, especially at higher percents, or it'll stage spike you if you're trying to grab ledge. It's broken. Or he can set up a button and stand from a very far distance and touch that button whenever he feels like it and mine while he's waiting. Because you can move while mining too. So ledge trapping is Steve's bread and butter. You are checkmated 90% of the time. Most characters have no way of dealing with this. Unless you can circumvent the ledge, unless you can go around the ledge and avoid Steve's bullcrap altogether, you're done. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to eat that. That's why explosive characters in the meta are so popular right now. Your Luigi's, your Kazuya's, other stuff like that. It's just better to kill your opponent earlier because Steve exists and he can kill you on the ledge at any time. So you have to deal with him really quickly. And it sucks. So TNT ledge trapping is absolutely insane. I've already talked about up B stuff. You can cancel out of your crafting very quickly, which is wild to me. I don't know why they allowed him to do that. We already talked about how fast it is to craft. But the fact that you can cancel out of it and attack really quickly is stupid. Footstool Dare is insane. If you're not aware of this tech, If you footstool someone while they're shielding, they are vulnerable for a certain amount of frames, and most characters can instantly down air out of this. And Steve's down air is fast enough to do a footstool dare, and it kills ridiculously early. It's a broken kill confirm that you can do if you're even remotely close to him, landing just a little bit too unsafe on his shield. It's crazy. Despite Steve having a poor jump and poor run speed, he sure can get that dare out of footstool into dare very, very easily. I already talked about planking. I already talked about if you have the block underneath Steve, if it breaks underneath him, he doesn't go into a free fall animation, doesn't go into tumble. He's able to act immediately, which makes it so much harder to do anything with him. You're never going to be on his block without him being on it first. So this never benefits you. This only benefits him. It's just crazy that he has the opportunity to do that anytime. Another thing that I really, really hate, the very last thing I want to talk about, is that he keeps his diamond and his gold between stocks, like Wario does with Waft. Doesn't make sense. He also gets refreshed if he has no iron when he dies. He gets a little chunk of iron back for no good reason. If you're going to keep all your resources, you should keep everything you have right there. You shouldn't get a new fresh thing of iron and dirt and everything. But Steve does. So if you work really hard to get one of his stocks off and he has no resources left and you trap him, you finally kill him, he's just going to get them back. And then he's going to start mining, he's going to build a wall, and he's going to do it all over again. So Steve is extremely broken. Hope you liked my 26-minute expose on Steve here. Let me know in the comment section down below, please, if I missed anything. Let me know anything at all. I would love to know anything else that makes Steve absolutely broken. This character is a monster on a rampage. We need to start banning tech or banning things that he can do, or ban the character entirely. I know it's way too late for that, but I've been on the ban train for a very long time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.